Hey y'all, it's Casey Hope from Pizzazz Art Studio, and we're back again with another 10-minute challenge. So today I'm going to show you how to do this card. Now you can do it on a card, a canvas, anything that you want to. But I love this technique. It is just throwing color on and then drawing around it. Now there is a little bit of dry time in between, but I think I can do it all in 10 minutes or less. So that is going to be the challenge today. Follow along. If I do it in 10 minutes or less, one of you are going to be a lucky winner of something from our stash of our whatever letter Happy Mail leftover stash. Okay, so all you got to do, comment on this video, like it, and make sure you are subscribed. So let's go. Let's see if I can do it in 10 minutes or less. Okay, y'all, let's see if we can do it in 10 minutes or less. So I have got watercolor paper just folded over in half for a watercolor card. I've already been using my fluid acrylics, and so this is, I'll go over these colors. We've got the Prussian blue, the India yellow, titanium white. We have got the magenta and the turquoise. Okay, so these are our golden fluid acrylic colors that we are using on our watercolor paper. I'm also going to be outlining with our Papermate Flare brush tip pen, the brush part right here. And I've got a blow dryer off to the side because I am going to need to blow dry this as we get going. So I really want to encourage you to use your art to bless people. So in this series, we are showing you how to create quick cards using your art and lettering. So here we go, set my timer, and let's roll. We are going to do the technique of just adding blobs of color first, okay? And that's just fun to me. So I'm getting my turquoise, and I'm just gonna kind of shape out a general vasey shape. Nothing about this is looking perfect, leaving some white. Then I'll maybe add a little bit of the dark blue in here. I really want you on these techniques to have fun and just be free, like free with your brush strokes, free with your drawing, just be loose, 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 loose. All right, I'm gonna clean, clean, clean. I'm gonna start adding in some yellow. So I'm gonna add some yellow here. And I'm just gonna kind of, again, blobs. We're doing blobs, okay? Maybe I'll make some orange by mixing a little bit of the magenta. I gotta get a little bit of the magenta over here. That might be too, it might be more yellow. So it's a little bit too bright, so maybe I'll add a little bit of white to it. Y'all, loose is the name of the game. Now I'll clean that brush, get some of that magenta. I'm just placing color. There is not a ton of thought. Yes, I'm kind of looking at this for reference, but it's not going to be an exact replica. If you wanted to do purple, I didn't do purple in that main one, but if you want to do purple, you could mix a little bit of the magenta and the turquoise for some purple. We do need to leave some room for some green, so I've got to not do too much more color. And notice there is white, okay? White space is A-okay. All right, so for the green, I've mixed some before, but it's gonna be the yellow and the turquoise. You could also mix the yellow and the blue. It would just be a slightly different shade of green. So here we're just gonna kind of place here and there, just bits of green. All right, so I think we're good on the color. So now I'm going to quickly blow dry this before I do anything over top. Sometimes if it feels a little slow to dry, which this does, I'm going to use my napkin just to dab in a few places. And then I can hit it with the blow dryer again. That's also helpful if ever when you start to blow, if everything starts to fly, you can do that as well. All right, when you see me filling this, I'm filling to see if it's still cool to the touch. Sometimes if it's still cool, it's kind of dry and also kind of wet. So that is what you see when I am touching it. All right, so now I'm going to start layering in my drawing. Now this is fun. We'll start with the vase. That's gonna be the simplest, and we're just kind of coming around. I'm not doing like a straight line right here. So I'll come around with a thicker line and then with some skinnier lines just to kind of look like maybe stems here. And then for these flowers, this is what gets fun. You can start just making up shape based on what you see. So like right here, we will kind of duplicate this and just kind of be loosey-goosey with several of these. We can do that. Several of these red ones. Like this has a slightly different shape, so maybe I'll kind of do that. These. This I can kind of just looking at the blob and deciding what do I want to do with it. And let's see, right in here we can do, even though this looks like a big round piece, your drawing is what the eye is going to go to. So if you don't want it to be a big round piece, if you want to have these petals, you just draw it in there. And that's what your eye sees. This can be a hard challenge to begin with, but once you start doing it, it's really fun and free just to see how, hey, I can just lay down a bunch of colors and draw over it. If you are working with kids, that's a fun thing for them to do too. They could paint your background and you could just come in, you know, with fun drawings on top, and then they're like, wow, look what I did. Because they've had a hand in helping you do it. Let's see, let's do a little of that. Let's see. So y'all, truly just kind of making stuff up, laying it in. And not every single thing has to have an outline. Now, with the greenery, I am just going to draw, and you're going to see I'm just drawing what I want to draw, and that green happens to be behind it. So I'm doing just a few little of the green. And this definitely needs something right over here, but look, it could also be filler. Like if you didn't want it to be a complete flower, it could be filler type stuff too. All right, and look at there. About have it. You can throw in things even if it doesn't have color. If you feel like it just needs a little something else somewhere, you can do it. But I like it, y'all. I am digging it. Let's add a sentiment on there because words have power. Scripture has even more power. I'm going to add Philippians 4:9. You can choose whatever you want, but this particular verse speaks on having the peace of God, and I think that oftentimes when we're sending cards to people, sometimes that's what they need to be reminded of, because sometimes life cannot be peaceful, and it's just a good reminder. I have to think real hard on how to spell Philippians. All right, Philippians 4:9. And there we've got it. I'm looking at my timer and we're good. We did it, y'all. We created a hand-painted, lettered, drawn piece of art that you can then open up and encourage somebody with it. All right, y'all, we did it. We did it in 10 minutes or less. So you know what that means. It means you can too. Stop your stinking thinking and thinking you don't have time for art, because you do. You have time to create, and just let us be your guide, okay? We've given you so many resources on this channel of things that you can do in 10 minutes or less. So grab some paint, some pens, some something, and sit down and create. and notice how you feel when you create. Chances are it's going to bring you joy. You're going to feel a little bit more peaceful, less stressed. That's what studies say that sitting down and creating, trying something new and doing something with your hands does for you. And so we are here to just give you inspiration and give you a jump start on your journey of creating art and having peace and play in your everyday. Remember, we're giving somebody a prize. All you got to do is make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Make sure you comment on this video and like it, and we will be back next week for more 10-minute challenges.